Well, welcome back to Answers, I guess is what we're calling this. What I've been calling it. And I told y'all, I said, we're going to answer these questions that I got off Google. The most Googled Bible questions. And I said, possibly take a break from them if, I feel like I want to discuss something else. And already, we did one question. And already we're going to take a break. We're going to take a diversion and talk about something else. Also, stick around for the end of the video. We're going to do a little bit of a pocket dump, kind of what I carry to church. I'm not nowhere near done with the next question that we're going to talk about. But I saw a video on Facebook the other day, and I didn't watch the video. I read the comments, and that's where this came from. Where this idea came from. So, apparently, now if you don't know, I live in Florida. So, apparently, in Washington, said Walla Walla, Washington, who threatened a sheriff. I want to say it's the sheriff of Volusia County. I'm not real sure which county it was. One of those counties down there by Orlando. So he threatened to kill the sheriff. I don't know what his reason was. Probably political. But apparently he had made threats to kill the sheriff. So what the sheriff did, or somebody, just judging off what I read in the comments, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch the video. But the guy came to Volusia County, I guess because he thought he won a free trip to Disney World. And when he got off the plane, guess who was there to meet him? The sheriff. And he was like, hey, you remember me? I'm the guy you threatened to kill, blah, blah, blah. And he arrested him, I guess. But my thing was, I didn't watch the video because I don't like drama and confrontation for no reason, But according to the comments, the dude started talking Christian things. Talking about, I don't know, but started making Christian connotations, so to speak. And the comments is where this idea came from. So apparently this dude starts spouting off some Christian stuff. I don't know exactly where in the Bible it's okay to threaten to kill a sheriff. But whatever. But the comments is exactly like you thought they would be. Oh, typical Christians. Leave it to a Christian. Blah, blah, blah. And it got me thinking, listen, people hate God. We know that if you're a Christian, like if a real Bible-believing Christian, you understand the world, it hates God. And even Jesus said, if the world hated me, they're going to hate you too. So, now if you're a Christian, you look at this behavior that this dude provided, and you go, well, obviously that is not Christian. That is not biblical. There's nowhere in the Bible that says it's okay to threaten to kill someone. Not in there. And if you're a Christian, you look at religion as a whole. I don't know what denomination you might be a part of, but as somebody who's a Baptist, I look at other things that call themselves, oh, we're Christians. And I'm like, well, no, you're really not. It's offensive when people, you tell a Mormon or something, you're not really Christian. They get mad at you about that. You're probably getting mad at me right now. But as a Christian, we look at all the other facets that call themselves Christian. We go, that is not Christian. I understand people think it is, but that particular belief that they're doing there is not biblical. It's not Christian. And we understand the differences between certain groups that believe one thing and this group believes this thing. We're like, you know. But the world doesn't look at it like that. As far as, you know, Church of Christ, Church of God, Baptist, Pentecostal, Presbyterian, Catholic, the world just lumps all that together. Like, oh, that's Christian. It's all, there's no distinction in their eyes. It's all the same thing. It's all Christian as far as they're concerned. Even though when you're in it, when you're a part of it, like we are, we understand it's not so cut and dry, you know. But the world hates anything that has to do with Christian. Anything that attaches itself with that label, they don't like it. They don't like the Bible. They don't like God. They don't want anything to do with Jesus Christ. So when they get an opportunity to point and go, look, I told you they're no good, they're going to take it. Even though the rest of us might, till we're blue in the face, say, well, that's not a very good, that doesn't represent Christianity as a whole. That one dude doing something that's not biblical. They don't know the Bible, so, and when they do try to get in it and read it, they try and twist it to their worldview and what they want it to say. You know, I've been talking about it in church or in my Sunday school class for the last couple of weeks, how people will read like the book of Joshua or the book of Exodus, Deuteronomy, whatever, about when the Jews came into the land and God's like, kill all the men, kill all the women, kill all the children, kill all the livestock. And people be like, oh, I can't believe God would do something like that. You know, just totally ignoring the fact that God didn't just wake up one morning and be like, I'm going to kill all these people. 430 something years went by where they could have chosen a different path and they didn't. So people get all upset about that because they're just going to read that part and be like, oh, they're not going to do any more research into it because they've got the part they want, the part that says what they want it to say, the part where they can go, Christianity is terrible because of this. So when a dude is out there, you know, threatening to kill the sheriff and whatever else he said, for those of us that are Christian, we're like, yeah, that's not Bible. That's not in there. But for everybody else who hates the Bible and God and Jesus and Christianity and the church and everything else to do with it, they're going to be like, ha ha, told ya, those Christians are hypocrites and they're terrible, a plight on the earth. Those are the kind of things they're going to say, or at least think. They might not say them out loud, but they'll think them. So it got me thinking about how important Christian conduct is. How important it is to conduct yourself as a Christian, because we know not everybody does. I was actually talking about that in Sunday school this morning, where I was talking about the difference between your standing with God and your state with God. If you're a born-again Christian, you are saved forever. You don't lose it. You're sealed until the day of redemption. But your state with God depends on how you live your life, things you do. So whether or not you're going to get to heaven and you're going to have all these rewards, you're going to reign with Christ during the millennial reign, is dependent on your state, on what you do with that faith once you have it. So there's some Christians out there who they probably are born again. They probably are saved Christians, but they don't live like they are. You wouldn't look at their life and be like, man, that's a good godly life they're living right there. Probably not. Probably wouldn't say that. So it got me thinking about Christian conduct. How we should conduct ourselves even more in the days that we're living in now, because the closer we step every day, every year, we get closer and closer to Jesus Christ coming back. The more the world gets further and further away from the Word and from God and everything else. And the more they get away from it, the more they hate us. So our conduct needs to be better than it was yesterday. So a verse you know, Matthew 5:16, we'll just back up starting at 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven. The only way, as Christians, that we're going to make a difference, make an impact in this world for Jesus Christ, is to have the right behavior, is to not be out here threatening to kill people and giving those. Don't give them a reason is the thing. Don't give them the world. They're just like I've said this before. I want to maybe in my Sunday school class, maybe back when I used to do my podcast. The world is looking for a reason. There is millions of Christians all over the world doing the good work of the Lord, spreading the gospel, helping the poor, feeding those that are doing the things that you expect Christians to do. There's millions of them all over the world. But is anybody paying attention to them? Is the world looking at them? Is the world writing articles about them? Are they making videos about them? They are not. But let some pastor at some, often right field church that calls itself Christian, let him get caught, doing something he shouldn't do, and see if the world don't put their attention on, put the cameras on him, write the stories about him. Never mind the millions of good Christians doing the right thing, but let that one trip up and all eyes are on him, and they're like, look, Christians are horrible because this one guy, out of a million good ones, this one guy messed up. So it's important that we live for the Lord if you're going to be a Christian. Now, we're never going to escape the fact that some people they have put their faith in Jesus Christ for their salvation. They're saved, but they're what Revelation calls lukewarm. They're neither hot nor cold, But, it's just a reality of humanity. We're not going to be able to do nothing about that, but all you can do is worry about yourself. How are you living? How do people view, if the only example people have of Christianity, what is the example you're setting? So, I just want to talk about that today. We'll get back next month to the questions. Next question is going to be, what is the purpose of life? We'll get into that. But I want to talk about Christian conduct today because the world's looking for a reason to point a finger at a Christian and be like, look at how terrible they are. Don't give them a reason. Don't you be that reason. All right. I appreciate y'all watching today. Today, Sunday, day before Memorial Day. I'm going to close this video out with a little bit of a look at the things I taught church every week to teach Sunday school and whatnot. And I recorded that before I recorded this, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it here at the end. Appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see y'all next time. I thought for fun I would give you guys a little glimpse into my church carry, since I do like to talk about pens and notebooks and stuff on here. It's a little bit thicker than usual because we just got our new Sunday School Quarterly books. We'll start at the bottom. This is the book we've been using for spring quarter, March, April, and May. The Rise and Fall of a Nation. We were in 1st, 2nd Kings, 1st, 2nd Chronicles, Obadiah, and Joel. We finished that up today. I got my cheap little padded case for my tablet. I used to type out all my notes and print them, but don't do that. I've been using this tablet for the past couple months. I got it last year. You know, when you get a new phone, I switched from T-Mobile to Verizon, and they were with you want a free watch? I'm like, you know, free, as they say. I'm like, nope, don't want a free watch. They're like, you want a free tablet? I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. So this is the Galaxy 9 FE, I think that's what they call it. But I got Microsoft Word on here, and I hate this case. Monday through Saturday, I keep it in this case because it's a little bit better, but this doesn't do vertical. It doesn't stand up vertically. So I got this one so I can have my notes on here. I just twist it around vertically. I can read my notes off here, swipe the page. But the fact that it does this is why I don't like to use it except for Sunday. So when it's not Sunday, it's not in this because this thing's kind of flimsy. But it does what I need it to do when I'm at church teaching Sunday school. And of course I got my Bible. This is my one I talked about in my what video was that? Overconsumption. I talked about all my Bibles I have. This is a Thomas Nelson single column verse by verse KJV, of course. And it's in the red goatskin. I have one that's also in black genuine leather. And I also have one that's just in like whatever they call fake stuff nowadays. But this one's nice. I like it. I like the verse by verse single column format. It's super easy to read from, teach from. So that's the Bible I use. These are the books for summer quarter. We're going to be in 1 Corinthians. This is the one I teach out of. This is the teacher's book. But I feel like if I'm going to be teaching with a book, it should be the one that everybody else has. So I just teach out of this one. And I use this one if I need a little bit of extra. But we're going to be in 1 Corinthians for the summer. Looking forward to it. And this is my Murdy Creative number 7. And it's got a Studio Neat tote book in it instead of the field notes kind, because I like this. It's a little bit thicker. At least I don't know if it technically is thicker, but it feels like it's a little bit thicker than a field notes. So I've been using this since April of last year. So a little over a year I've been using it. And what I used to do is sermon notes when I'm at church, and then I would write prayers in here. But at some point I abandoned the prayer thing because mixing the two together were just a pain. So I keep them somewhere else, and I just put sermon notes in here. And I'm a little over halfway through. My pen has changed up a couple times. This is the Sharpie S Gel, the metal ones I bought. One of them. And I've been using that in here. Just clip it on the page there. Close it. Tote it in with my Bible. And it's not too big to where it's a distraction. But I can still write my notes in it. Then I got my watch, which is an Amazfit BIP 6. Nothing too fancy. Wear that to work as well. I try to carry a knife that's like not all nasty from work when I go. So I got this QSP Penguin, I want to say it is. And it's got my Carta on the handles, so it's nice and plush, you could say. And I don't find this blade shape very helpful for work, but for church, if I need to cut up my food, breakfast, because we have breakfast in Sunday school, If I need to open up anything, I got this. It's a redneck church, so they ain't too surprised to see a redneck with a knife in his pocket. My wallet. Told y'all about that. If you watched the Sidekick review, I've talked about that quite a bit. An old handkerchief because my allergies were bothering me this weekend. My phone, Galaxy S24, which I keep in Sunday school when I'm teaching because it has the always on display, so I can see what time it is and if I need to like how much time I have left in my lesson, if I need to wrap it up or if I got some more time. I decided to tote my Smith & Wesson Shield 45 in the Vetter holster. Love the Vetter holster. Sometimes if I'm wearing my belly band holster, I'll carry my Canic MC9. This, I don't remember who makes this holster, but I hate these. Don't like them. But that gun is so small, it's super easy. And I got my belly band on just to have it over here on the side and it doesn't stick out too much. So that's typically what I carry to church. I just thought I'd include it because I thought it might be interesting to some of y'all.